SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, we will start a new topic today, that is the concept selection. This is going to be the last topic in this course, and this will discuss the selection of the best concept from the concepts we generated using concept generation methods. So, as you know, there are a large number of ideas that you will get once you do a concept generation exercise, that is the brainstorming or 635 or TRIZ methodology. You can generate large number of ideas. So, what will happen, you will be getting large number of ideas to solve a problem. So, you have a problem to be solved, and then you will find that there are so many ways to solve it. So, if you say that okay, these are the ideas, so you will be having a large number of ideas to solve this problem, and these ideas will come from the generation exercises what we discussed, idea generation exercises. Now, we will convert these into concepts. So, you need to convert these into concepts, and as I mentioned, the team will work together and look at these ideas and then see how this can actually be converted into few concepts. So, you will actually have some very good concepts that can actually solve the problem. But these concepts, so they may number around 10 to 15 to solve one problem. Then we need to check out of these 10 or 15 which one will be the best solution, or which one can be taken as the best solution to take it forward and then make prototype and testing. And we need to have some kind of a strategy in order to make sure that the concept that we are selecting is based on some kind of performance criteria that we identified in the product, or when we started the design process we identified some kind of performance requirement, and based on that we need to see out of these concepts which one will be the best one. So, what we will do, we will try to again narrow down this, and then since you have a large number of these concepts, you will not be able to do a very thorough analysis of each and every concept, and therefore, we will go through some 2 stages in doing this and then get the selection. So, we will go the selection process will be having few stages, but these concepts will be narrowed down to small number of and find out the top 1 or 2 concepts. So, this is the way how we need to get into the final concept to solve the problem. So, this is the way how we will be moving forward from the ideas to the top concept. So, concept selection is basically to select the best concept out of many possible concepts to solve the problem. And when you at this stage you will see that all these concepts are good and they are all capable of solving the problem, and all seems to be practical, logical, everything it satisfies, but still there may be variations in each of these concepts, and then therefore, we need to make a very informed decision on which one will be the best concept, and that is basically the concept selection process. So, we will see how we can select the best concepts from a list of feasible concepts to solve the design problem. Okay, so, the objective is to how can the team choose the best concepts given that the designs are quite abstract. So, we still do not have a very detailed design. They are again at a very abstract level. We have not gone into the details of the material properties, machining requirements, and all those things are not really taken into account, but we have an idea, or we have some kind of understanding of how these concepts can be implemented. And under that situation, how can we choose the best concept is the question, and how can a decision be made that is embraced by the whole team. So, when you have a team of people who develop the concepts, each one will be having a preference for 1 or 2 concepts over the others. this may be mainly because of their contribution in developing that concept, or they felt that is the best way to solve the problem. And when you are choosing the best concept, you cannot have one from each team member. So, you need to have a consensus among the team members saying that, oh, this is the best that we can take forward. And how do we actually do that? How can we ensure that all the team members agree on this concept to be taken forward? And another important point is, how can the desirable attributes of otherwise weak concept be identified and used? So, when we have many concepts, some of them will be very good in a particular aspect, but they may be very bad in some other aspects, not intentionally, but because of the way the concept generated and the idea got converted to concept, there may be some weak points in that every concept. So, the question is, how can we use the desirable attributes of a otherwise weak concept and then make use of that particular desirable attributes to improve the concept. Either the same concept can be improved by addressing the weakness, or the desirable attribute of one concept can be used in other concepts to improve that concept. So, how can we do that in a systematic way is also addressed in the concept selection process. So, concept selection is not merely choosing the best one, but looking at the concepts and then trying to see how can the concepts can be improved to get a best concept. So, it is not purely a selection, it is more of improvement of the existing concepts and then choosing the best concept. So, we will see how this can be done. Okay. So, the concept selection is the process of evaluating concepts with respect to customer needs and other criteria, comparing the relative strength and weakness of the concepts and selecting one or more concepts for further investigation. So, that is the concept selection process, where we evaluate the concepts with respect to the customer needs as well as the other criteria that we identified, and then ensure that the relative strength and weakness of the concepts are compared, and then select one or more best concepts to take forward is the concept selection process. So, this one I already explained. So, you have this problem coming and then you have a large number of ideas, and then you do some kind of analysis, convert into concepts, and then these concepts will be sent through a process of selection process, and finally you will get the best concept out of this. So, you can actually have multiple stages in this one. We will discuss these stages by how we actually get into the best concept from a large number of concepts developed using the idea generation and concept generation process. Okay. So, to explain this, let us take a very simple analogy of what we normally do when choosing something. For example, you want to buy a bike and you have a lot of choices to buy, and based on something you need to take a decision, okay, which one should you buy. So, for example, suppose you have this kind of 5 model bikes available in the market. You want to buy the best bike that is possible for you. So, it is not that you want to buy the best of everything, because you will be having your own limitation. So, you may be having some criteria or some preferences. So, you have to look at that preference and then decide which one is the best for you. And how will we normally proceed by this? What we do? We actually look at the bikes available and then prepare a list of bikes that is available in the market for you to buy. And then you look at what are your preferences. So, you have some preferences when you go for a bike, and naturally any selection process follow the same method, and here the preferences you can actually say, okay, probably the cost will be a constraint or a preference. You know that you have a cost limitation. You say that, okay, I do not want to go for anything more than 1.5 lakhs. So, probably that may be the one criteria that you may be having. And then you are looking for the safety. So, you look for, okay, which one is the most safe bike depending on the knowledge you have about the bike and its safety issues, as well as the design which leads to safety. The other one may be the style. So, you would like to have a good style, okay, either a sports style or a adventure bike style, whatever it is. So, you have some preference for the style of bike, and then you have some preference for the engine capacity. So, you do not want to go for engine capacity which is less than 150 or 200, you would like to have more than 200. That may be your preference, or you would like to have it as less than 200, whatever it is. So, you have some engine capacity, and then you may be having something on the power, or if you are more tech savvy, then you may be okay, what is the acceleration, maximum acceleration possible, and then maybe the type of suspension being used. So, this may be the criteria that you may be having, not all, but few of these criteria you will be having. Now, you need to decide, because each one will be having its own characteristics. Some may be very costly, but will be very good in all the safety and other aspects, and engine power may be very high, but some may be very low cost, but it may not be meeting your other performance criteria. So, what you need to do, you need to each bike you take and then you see analyze with respect to these criteria how each one is performing, and then you can actually prepare a chart and then see, okay, which is the one which actually scores the highest amongst the bikes, and if that is the one you can afford, then you decide, okay, let me go for that bike. So, in a practical scenario in our day to day life, we may not be doing this as a systematic process. We will be doing all this in our own calculation, our own ways, and then decide, okay, let me go for this. And this is same thing what will happen when you want to buy a laptop, or you want to buy a new mobile phone. You will be because there are a lot of choices available for you to choose from. You need to make a choice based on the criteria you have. So, that is the importance. You need to identify what is the criteria you have in buying a bike or buying a phone or a laptop. It is the same applicable to the concepts also. So, when you have 10 or 15 concepts, you need to know which one is the best, and it should be more of a very systematic procedure. It is an objective one which anybody can understand, or you can explain to anyone why you chose the particular concept. That is why we need to have a very systematic process in selecting the best concept. So, let us see how this can be done. So, this is the way how normally we do. So, the first thing is to have a selection criteria to compare the products or the concepts that is available. So, in any selection process, we need to have some kind of criteria based on which we can make a choice. So, that is the step that we need to have. Okay, so, as I mentioned, cost, mileage, warranty, after sales service, comfort, pride, etc. will be the can be the criteria. So, I did not include the mileage and warranty and other things, but you can have any criteria that you like to have. So, this is the normal process by which we choose products, or we make decisions to buy product or sell product or whatever it is. So, whenever we have to make a choice from multiple options available, you need to have some kind of a standard criteria to compare these options and then take a decision. Okay. Similar is the case with suppose you are part of a competition. I mean, you are organizing a competition as part of the student festivals. Most of the colleges will be having student festivals, technical festivals, and you conduct a lot of competitions in the as part of the festival. Now, suppose you are conducting a competition and you are getting around 500 plus entries. Now, we need to choose the best out of these 500, best or the best 3 you want to choose. So, if you want to compare all these 500, it may be difficult for you to compare all the 500 based on a number of criteria. Whenever you have this competition, you would have decided, okay, the price will be based on this many criteria. So, you will be having some 5 or 6 criteria or more criteria in choosing the best concept or best entry. But when you have 500 plus entries, or you have a large number of entries, you may not be able to do all these criteria analysis in a very detailed way, and therefore, you would like to bring down this to a smaller number, so that you can do a very detailed analysis of each and every entry. So, that is where what you do, you will have a preliminary evaluation of this, may not be using all the criteria, and you may not go into the details of each criteria, how much it scores and what is the variation between different teams. You will have a very simplified form of analysis in order to bring down this to a smaller entry. and that is normally known as a screening process. So, we will do a screening of all the entries and then say that out of 500 plus, oh no, we have only some 50 good entries, 50 or 100 depending on how you want to go. So, we will say that I have only you can actually bring down this to a very smaller number, so that all these 50 can be evaluated in a more objective way, so that you will be able to choose the best. So, the first stage you do a screening process to reduce it to a smaller number where you can have a better evaluation, and this screening could be more on not necessarily to be a very objective, can have a very subjective evaluation whether it meets the requirement yes or no kind of evaluation can be done, and then based on that you can bring it down. For example, if you have 500 plus entries, so you might have given some conditions under which the entry can be chosen, for example size or shape or weight or something like that. We can have a look at the entries and then see whether they actually meet the requirement. If they are not meeting the requirement, you can immediately eliminate it. So, that way you can quickly bring down this large number to a smaller number, and then you go to a more objective way of looking at it and then try to evaluate each and every entry and then decide which one is the best. So, there you will give some marks for each one of these, you have give some weightage for each criteria and then find out which entry is scoring the best, and that will be chosen as the best entry for the competition, and that stage is normally known as a scoring stage. So, you do a scoring of the entries and then find out the best one based on the top score. So, which one is getting the top score will be the best entry, and like that you will be choosing the top 3 entries in a competition. So, in any selection process you need to have different stages in order to make sure that we can bring down the large number of entries to a smaller number and then analyze the small number of entries with a very focused and objective evaluation and get the top entry selected. And so, these stages are known as screening and scoring. In in the concept selection process also we go through these 2 stages in order to choose the best concept. From the large number of concepts we do a preliminary screening to find out which are the potential concept that can be taken forward. You do a quick screening and then select the top 5 or 6 concepts and then do a detailed analysis of scoring and then take the best concept. That is the process we follow in the concept selection. Okay, so, in order to do this, so as I told you, if you want to do a selection process, we need to have some criteria based on which we can evaluate the concept. So, the first process or the first stage in doing the concept selection is to decide on the criteria. All the team members should agree that okay, these are the criteria by which we can actually evaluate the concepts, and that criteria can be anything depending on the customer needs or the design specifications or whatever the team feels appropriate can be taken as the criteria. So, it can be the cost of the product, or when you develop the concept how costly it will be, and the development risk, knowledge of the availability of technology and the risk involved in developing the concept, and technical difficulty, like anything. So, it depends on the product, you can have any number of criteria, but of course, a large number of criteria also may be very difficult. So, the team has to decide what will be the best possible criteria that can be used for evaluating a concept. It depends on the product and the concept that you have at hand, and the design team has to come to a consensus. So, everyone should agree on the criteria that is to be used, and then forming consensus on the alternatives. Alternatives are the available concepts that you have. Suppose you after converting the ideas to concepts, you have reached on many concepts. So, suppose you have around 15 concepts, and if everyone feels that all these 15 are good and it can be considered for the next stage, you can go ahead. Otherwise, you can have a decision based on the team's own understanding. If everyone feels that a particular concept is not at all good and it may not be it is not necessary to take it forward, you can actually eliminate that also. So, you can actually bring down this to 15 or 12 or 13 depending on the team's consensus. That is why the team also should have a consensus on the alternatives. When I say alternative, that is the alternative concepts available for solving the design problem. So, have a consensus on the criteria and consensus on the alternatives, and then rank the alternatives based on the process. So, you need to have the alternatives and you have the criteria. Now, using this criteria, rank all the alternatives or give some marks and then rank all the alternatives and evaluate the alternatives based on the rank it has obtained, and then attack the negatives. Attacking the negative is that if you have a concept which is having lot of good attributes, but it is going bad because of a particular feature, that is the negative feature of that particular concept. See whether that you can actually modify that particular feature to make it improve the concept, so that the concept can be improved, and then you can see how it actually ranks within the alternatives. That is basically the attacking the negatives. It can be either combining two concepts. If the concepts are having complementary features, positive features, then you can combine them and then improve the concept, or you can take the good attributes of one of the concepts and then add to something else, some other concepts, or you can attack the negative attribute of a concept by improving that and making it better. So, there are multiple ways in which you can attack the negatives in a concept. So, you need to, it is not only just ranking the alternatives and going through the ranks, but it is attacking the negatives also. Okay, so, this can be done this part of the ranking. So, as I told you, you cannot have the same kind of approach for when you have a large number of alternatives or smaller number. When it is a large number, you need to quickly bring it to a smaller number. So, we need to go through two stages in this, and as I told you, they are the screening and ranking or scoring. So, concept ranking or concept scoring. So, these are the two stages in the concept selection process. We call it as concept screening and concept ranking or concept scoring. In both the stages, the purpose is to get the best out of the set available with you as an alternative set of alternatives available with you. So, in the concept screening, which is a process where we try to bring down the large number to a smaller number, we go for the screening process, and within the smaller number we go for a more objective evaluation of the alternatives and get the best, that is known as the concept ranking or concept scoring. In both the stages, the steps involved are almost the same. So, we have a 6-step process which leads the team through the concept selection activity. So, whether it is screening or ranking, we do the same stages, except that some of the stages will be having a different way of handling the ranking process. So, the first one is prepare the selection matrix. The selection matrix is nothing but the criteria and the alternatives. So, you have the criteria. So, you can actually say that, oh, I have the criteria. So, these are the criteria against which my concepts to be evaluated. So, this will be the criteria. Sorry, this will be the criteria, and then I have the concepts 1. I have concept 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then each concept will be evaluated against these criteria like cost or of technical difficulty, etc. So, this is known as the matrix. So, you have a selection matrix which has got the selection criteria and the alternatives listed, and then rate the concepts based against the criteria. So, each one can be given the ratings. So, for example, cost 1, what will be the rating cost in terms of this is high cost or low cost, you can have some kind of rating here. That rating depends on the team, whether you want to give a numerical value there, or you can give some kind of a symbolic representation like 5 star, 2 star, 3 star, like that. That actually depends on the way you want to do it, but that is the way how you do the rating of the concepts. And then rank the concepts. So, based on the ratings you say, okay, what is the rank, or you can say the total score you can find out, and then you can say rank 1, 2, 3, etc. So, that is the way how you rank the concepts. And then after ranking, you just check whether anything can be combined and to improve the concepts. Is there a way to combine some of the concepts or improve some of the concepts by attacking the negatives? And once you do that, you may get a better concept, and again see whether what will be the rank of that one, and then based on that select one or more concepts for the next stage, and reflect on the results and the process, and then look at the whole process and then see whether anything is missing or anything you made a wrong assumption. So, looking at all those things, you will be able to get the final selection of the concept. So, this is the process that we follow in both the screening and ranking of concepts. I hope you understood this. So, this is the way how we proceed with the process. Now, let us see the first stage where actually the concept screening, how is it done. And in concept screening, as I told you, the idea is to bring down the numbers to a smaller number for better analysis. So, in the first stage, we do more of a subjective evaluation, not giving any objective values, but we do a subjective evaluation and then bring down the large number of concepts to a smaller number. That is the first stage, concept screening. And here we use something called a Puig's concept selection matrix. So, Puig's method is commonly used for this kind of analysis. So, we use the same method, Puig's concepts for Puig's method for concept selection, and it actually narrows down the number of concepts quickly and improve the concept. So, that is the idea here. We want to have a very quick narrowing down to smaller number, and you have large number, we narrow down this to a smaller number. And how is this done? So, as you can see, the first thing is to prepare the selection matrix. So, what we do? We prepare the selection matrix. So, we prepare a matrix, selection matrix, and we say that okay, these are the criteria. So, as you know, this criteria should be selected based on the consensus of the team members, and then here, so here this will be the criteria, and the concepts or the alternatives will be given here. Okay, so, you may be having 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Assume that there are 15 number of concepts you have, 15 concepts you have, and you want to bring down this to a top 5 or top 6 concepts. That is the idea. Now, the criteria can be given here. Okay, you can have the criteria and then you can give the ranking. So, I say criteria 1 is cost, technical difficulty, weight, something like that, no, user convenience, something. Okay, so it depends on the this actually comes from your customer needs as well as the design criteria that you had arrived at during the specification development process. So, from there you can actually take the criteria. Now, what we do, we look at each concept. Suppose you have 15 concepts, and each concept you need to see what should be the value given. So, in this case, since you have 15, you want to compare these 15 number of concepts. So, one way to do is to have a reference. Suppose you have similar products already available in the market, then we say that okay, there is a reference product to compare. And then we say that I mean we can compare this 15 concepts against a existing reference. Suppose there is no reference available, then we can take one of these concepts as a reference and then evaluate with reference to that concept how the other concepts are performing. So, that is the way how you can do the relative ranking. So, we want to get a relative ranking of these 15 concepts, and one way to do this is to refer to a existing product, or one of these can be taken as a reference. And what we do, we give the reference as a 0 rating. So, we will say that the reference is always given 0, and then with reference to this reference we will check concept 1, is it costly or less costly. So, we want it to be less costly actually. So, we will check whether the concept 1 will be much more costlier than the reference. If it is costlier, then give it as we give a negative value for this. If it is cheaper, then give it as a plus. So, like this you can give a plus or minus depending on the cost of the new concept or the projected cost based on the new concept, whether it will be more costlier or less costlier compared to the reference, we will give it a plus or minus. So, that is the way how the Puig concept selection matrix works. Similarly, the technical difficulty, you will see okay, the reference technical difficulty is 0 and what will be the difficulty of the first concept. You will say, oh, this will be much more easy, there is not much technical difficulty compared to the existing one, then give it as a plus, give it as a plus, minus, plus, etc. This way you will give each one of some kind of plus or minus compared to the existing product, the reference. So, as I told you, if the reference is not available, it is a completely new product, you give this 15 as 0, each one will give it as 15, you give 0 value and then compare others with respect to this 15. So, the product is existing or not is not at all a major issue, because you can always compare it against the one of the concepts that you have developed. The idea is to get the relative ranking. So, how the other concepts are performing with respect to the reference is the main requirement. So, you will be able to do this. So, like this you give the plus minus to all those alternatives or the concepts, and then what we do, we will find out what is the total value. So, you can say total plus, total minus and overall value. So, you can see that is the here you can see there is 2 plus and 2 minus, 2 plus and 2 minus. Okay, by I think let me give some kind of difference. Yeah. So, this is 2 plus and 2 minus, and this is 3 plus and 1 minus, this is again 3 plus and 1 minus, and this is 1 plus and 3 minus. So, you will get the overall as 0, 0, 2, 2, minus 2. So, that is the way how you get the score. Now, you can give the rank based on this. If two of them are having equal, you can either give it as 1, then it will be 2 and this will be 3. So, this is the way you can give the ranking. Suppose they are equal, having equal score, give the same rank, otherwise you give the different. So, in this way you will be able to get the ranking of all the concepts, and based on the rank you can choose the top 5 concepts from the 15. So, but we do not directly choose the first top 5, we will look at if there are any concepts which can be improved. For example, you can see this concept having one positive thing here, this one positive thing here and other 3 negatives, and this feature and this the cost, this product, it is because of the cost only it has become negative. So, what is the feature that actually makes it positive? Can we change, I mean use this feature in this product, in this concept to improve its ranking? Or if there is any complementary one, for example this one, this there are plus here and there are plus minus here, okay, this minus and this minus. Now, if you combine these 2 features by eliminating these 2 minuses, then you will be getting a better concept. So, this is the way how we need to look at the negative features of the concepts and then combine them or modify them to make a better concept. That is the combine and improve stage of concept screening. So, concept screening is not only looking at the ranking, but it is trying to find out what feature of the product concept is, what feature of the concept is making it attractive or not attractive, and based on that you can modify the concept and make it a better concept. So, it helps you help the design team to improve the concept based on the criteria. So, that is the first stage of concept screening, and this is known as the Puig's concept selection method. So, we use the Puig's concept selection method in the screening stage. So, let us take the example, one example for concept screening. So, a medical supply company engaged a design firm to develop a reusable syringe for outpatient use. So, this is the design problem given to a company, and they wanted to this supply company wanted a reusable syringe, not a disposable one, a reusable syringe for outpatient use. The design team established 7 criteria on which the choice of a product concept could be based. So, the design team had 7 criteria against which all the concepts can be evaluated, and these 7 criteria came again from the customer requirement as well as the design team's understanding of the product. So, the first one was ease of handling, how easy it is for the medical professional to handle it, and then the ease of use, how easily it can be used, and then readability of dose settings. So, you have you need to set the dose, so how easy to read it, then dose metering accuracy, and then durability, ease of manufacture, and portability. So, these were the 7 criteria identified by the design team: ease of handling, ease of use, readability of dose settings, dose metering accuracy, durability, ease of manufacture, and portability. So, whatever the concept you develop, it will be evaluated against these criteria, and if it then you will see which one is the best one which meets all these criteria. So, that is the way the design team wanted to evaluate the concepts, and they developed many concepts, and again they developed 7 concepts. Of course, this 7 is just for example we are given 7, team can actually have much more than 7. So, 7 concepts were generated for the syringe. So, you can see each one is shown here and taken from the textbook. So, concept A is a master cylinder type, concept B is a rubber brake model, and this is the concept C, which has got a kind of dose setting here and a conveyor kind of a thing. It's an indicator, sorry, connector. It's a connector here and an indicator. And this is the C, concept C. Then you have the concept D with the plunger here, and then this is the E, F, and G. So, you have 7 concepts developed by the design team, and all these 7 concepts actually work well, and they are all good concepts and actually feasible, can be practically implemented, and there are no issues with the concepts per se. But then the team wants to know which one will be the best one, as though all the 7 looks fine and they will work, then the team wants to select the best concept out of this, because each one has got its own features. For example, you can see this one is seems to be a bit bulky compared to all others, but then there will be some advantages of having this particular design, and that is why the design team has gone for this. Sometimes the cost may be very less, or ease of the dose metering accuracy may be good. So, these are the advantages that this design should be having. So, they want to have a very objective and very systematic way of selecting the top concept. So, the first stage is the concept screening. They want to bring down to a smaller number and then do the second stage of scoring. Now, if they go for the Puig selection method, the concept screening can be done based on that, and you have this criteria here: the ease of handling, ease of use, number readability, dose metering, load handling, manufacturing ease, and portability. Okay. So, these are the criteria, selection criteria, and you have the concept variants A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So, that is the selection matrix. You have the variants and the criteria. So, now based on these criteria, the concept variants need to be evaluated in the screening stage, and then this is the reference they have chosen. So, they have chosen an existing syringe in the market as a reference, and then evaluated all these variants based on the reference existing in the market. And as I mentioned, they will give the ratings for each concept based on against the criteria with reference to the reference product chosen. Now, when you do that, you will see that this is the way how it can be scored. You can see the concept A is equal to the reference in ease of handling, ease of use, number readability, but better than the existing one in the dose metering, manufacturing, ease and portability. So, there are 3 characteristics or the 3 criteria which this concept A performs better than the reference. Same way you can see each concept is given a plus or minus or a 0. So, if it is same you can give a 0, if it is plus or if it is better you give a plus, worse give a minus, equal give a 0, and you can give all the concepts this writing like this. Now, you look at the total plus and same and minus. So, you can get this values here 340, 232, 214 etc. And you get this net as 3 0 minus 2 0 2 minus 1 0. Okay, so, that is the total net value. So, you can 3 is the highest. So, you give the rank 1 here and then 2 rank 2 and then you have 0, then both are 0, here have 0 0 0. There are 3 zeros, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. So, you can give it as 3 4 5 or you can give 3 also equal rating also you can give equal rank, then 5 6 7. So, you have 5 6 and 7. Now, you have to decide okay what to do with this one, continue, okay, and say you don't want to take all the 7 to the next stage. So, you want to take 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 depending on the team's interest in taking it forward. Probably 4 of this can be taken forward. Yes, yes, yes. But we do not directly take it now because we need to do the other aspect of attacking the negative. So, you need to look at what are the features that can be improved or what are the ways in which these concepts can be improved by either combining or attacking the negative. So, if you look at these concepts, you can see this has got a plus here and a 0 here, a plus here and a 0 here, a plus here and a 0 here, plus here and a 0 here, right. Similarly, there you can actually improve some of this. For example, the portability is negative in this case. So, this one is okay, one of this is portability. So, the last one is portability is negative. So, because of this negative and this negative, this concept was actually going bad. If you probably address these negative features, then it may be becoming a better concept also. So, you need to look at this concept based on the criteria and the rating it received, see which one can be combined, which one can be improved. So, now if you look at that, you will see. So, the question is there a generally good concept which is degraded by one bad feature, and are there 2 concepts which can be combined to preserve the better than qualities. So, that is the thing which actually you need to check with all these concepts. Now, you can see if this can be revised, this minus can actually be because it is minus because of this portability, otherwise it has got 2 plus points and this minus is a problem, others are 0 and this ease of handling. So, probably when you address the portability issue, this ease of handling also will improve. That way you can actually address both these negative features and make it positive, then this will be a much better concept. That is how you need to look at it. And then if you look at these 2, here you have plus 0 plus plus and many of them are 0. So, probably if you combine these 2, sorry not this one, these 2. So, this has got a plus 0 here and here got a plus and a 0. So, if you combine this, so otherwise it is a very low scoring one. So, if you combine this and this, these 2 were no actually, and if you combine these 2 features and for these 2 concepts, you may be able to come up with a better concept. So, this is what we can try. So, revise this concept G and then combine concepts D and F. So, D and F can be D and F can be combined to get a new concept. So, we have this S for this was still S. So, this is a S1 and we already decided we saw that this can be improved by addressing this issue, and then there are 2 no's were there. So, we try to combine them and then see which one can be taken forward. So, now you have this G. So, the G can be improved. So, we call this as a new design as G plus, that is by addressing the portability issue of G, we are actually addressing the ease of handling issue also. So, you get a new concept G plus. Similarly, by combining D and F, we may get a new concept. So, we call it as D plus F. This way you will be getting 2 new concepts, G plus and D plus F. So, if you do this, so you can see that G plus, so the original G was actually a bulky one, it was something like this. Now, by improving the design and addressing the bulkiness issue, it has become smaller and the bulkiness has gone, and therefore, the ease of handling and portability improves. And then combining the D and F, so D had got some good features and F also had some good features. So, try to combine these 2 good features and then come up with a new product, it has become concept DF. Now, we take these 2 plus the previous 1, 2, 3 rank and then take it to the next level, that is the concept scoring. So, the first stage is concept screening, where we try to find out the top ranking concepts from a large number of concepts and then try to improve the existing good concepts or the otherwise good concepts or concepts which has got some bad features, and by addressing that, if you can improve it, you improve it and then get a good concept from that, and take all these concepts to the next level of concept scoring. Now, if you look at the previous case of screening, we had more of a very subjective evaluation. We did not really check when you say plus how good it is compared to the existing one. Just say it is good, better than the existing one, but how much it is better, or is there any, there was no quantitative evaluation of the against the criteria, more of a qualitative evaluation you did. Again, it is a subjective evaluation. And apart from that, we actually considered all these are equal importance. We found, we said or we assumed that ease of handling, ease of use, number readability all are having equal weightage. That need not be true, because not all the criteria having equal weightage. As for example, in the case of a syringe, you need to have more importance for the dose metering accuracy, because that is more important in the case of injection. When you give an injection, you need to ensure that the dosage is correct, and if that is not ensured, then you have problem in using the syringe. So, this should have actually more weightage compared to the ease of handling or ease of use. But to make sure to do a very quick selection process, we actually did not consider that much of detail. We wanted to bring this to a smaller number based on this, and then the next stage we will decide to have more detailed analysis with more objective scoring. So, that is the next stage of concept scoring.